with Beard. Welcome, podcast kiddos. It's Cathy Cat.
Oh, Ladybeard coming at you with another neck-breaking installment of Cat with Beard. We have our wonderful guest back again today in the studio, PeachMilky. Hello, PeachMilky. How are you?
I'm great.
Good. At PeachMilky on the internet.
Yes. That's it. And today's cosplay modeling. Oh my god. Sorry. Today's episode is about cosplaying and modeling in Japan as a profession. And just off camera, we started talking a little bit about all the different platforms. And you are not on TikTok. I am not on. Are you on TikTok?
Yes, but I don't. Yes, I am.
Same. I am on it, but like I don't post on it that much. Like occasionally you might see something, but like not a lot.
I'm on it, but I'm more on other things.
All right.
Yeah.
So it seems nowadays the apps you cannot just edit your face and your eyes smaller and your chin smaller and I don't know your nose smaller. You can also edit your ears bigger. You can also edit your waist smaller and apparently your legs longer too.
Yes. Use the old leg lengthening app.
That's leg lengthening. That I didn't even know that until recently. I'm like, what? You can lengthen your legs? I thought that was like an old school purikura thing.
Oh no.
Like they did that in the purikura photo machines before that they would kind of extend your legs. And if you were wearing Lolita fashion, it would look ridiculous because your dress would just suddenly like be stretched at weird parts, and the print would suddenly be like a very long pulled bear face.
Oh, it's good fun.
So that was one thing. But now apparently it's like an official thing you can do with your phone.
Oh yeah. Most certainly. I mean, there's a lot of apps that you can change your entire body, not just your face now. Everything, your hair, your legs, your body, everything about your face. You can look like a completely different person, and it's in one side impressive technologically. The other side may be slightly problematic, like for mental health, but...
Do you know what?
For mental health, that sounds really bad.
I find when I go scrolling nowadays, because everyone's able to, to I guess, edit to themselves with their images, I find two things. Number one, it's very, it's you don't have to necessarily be very good in the first place anymore, because just on the After Effects you can just change everything and completely change yourself. So there's that. So a whole lot of people kind of like half-ass it, but then still do really well on the social media because they can After Effects everything. And number two, I find when I do my scrolling, I find that everyone has been, I don't know how to say this, everyone looks so perfect that I get like hyper-stimulation. I have to stop. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, there's too many long legs and like small jaws faces. And big eyes, and I get like, my eyes freak out from it. You know what I mean?
It's easy to forget that real people don't look like that.
Yes,
and it's very like easy to kind of project that on yourself and kind of be like, oh my goodness, everybody is so perfect. Why don't I look like that? And it's like, it can be very, I think, damaging. I feel kind of sorry for especially like very young people growing up now, because they are just all day, every day they're scrolling through absolute perfection. And I mean, we had like magazines and stuff whenever we were younger, but like not to this extent. Like it's.
But do you think
to be honest, the magazines in the old days looked a little bit funky now as well. If you look at them back.
But do you think the kids, because the kids are doing it themselves, do you think they inherently understand that what they're seeing is not real as such? So therefore, it relieves the pressure.
You know what? I don't think so, because so I am a cosplayer, so of course I'm partial to Photoshop. I like to like retouch my photos, make myself look like the best version of myself before I post anything. But even I, as an older person that does retouch my photos, can still look through like TikTok or Instagram and Twitter and still feel that like insecurity.
Yeah, that kind of...
Even though the logical part of my mind knows that it's not real, there's still that emotional side of you that can be affected, I think, very, very easily. And you can just kind of let that wash over you, the negative feelings and the comparison. Yeah.
They talk about it in, what was the name of the documentary? The Social Dilemma? Yeah, they talk about how all the apps are designed to dig further into your brainstem.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think that's a really good, I like this conversation where we're actually steering this here right now. I think that's like a good part of like thinking everything is like so shiny. Oh, you want to be a cosplayer, you want to be a model, but there's a lot of side effects too. Like everyone aiming for perfection all the time, right?
100%, yeah.
In real life, do you have lifestyle choices that you need to make in order to maintain the instrument? Like particular diets or like skincare, healthcare, hair care, that kind of thing?
So, I mean, as far as like weight and stuff goes, I'm actually kind of lucky. Like I've always kind of been naturally the size. I've never went on a diet, and I don't really work out that often. I will maybe work out a little bit if I know that a specific shoot is coming up that is going to be like showing my midriff or something. Then maybe I'll like do a little pump and like try and keep myself like a little bit tight. But for the most part, actually, I don't do very much.
Just quickly, I'm so jealous of your genetic situation. Oh my god, never in my life.
Oh god, that bar of chocolate I just had.
Please continue, Madam Perfection, with your story.
Well, speaking of perfection, like my skin is quite bad on my face, especially. So usually I have to go to dermatologist and beautician pretty often. I get regular IPL facials that are quite expensive. I like go for like facial treatments and all that kind of stuff. Maintain hair. Like I've got my roots growing out right now. It's really bad. I really need to get that sorted out. So like just keeping up with those kind of things can actually get pretty expensive.
Well, hey, I mean that's part of the
the cost of doing business, ain't it? Yeah.
Maintaining the instrument as such, as you said that, right?
I think a lot of the time, when people see the glitz and the glamour, they don't realize how much goes in behind the scenes before you even make it to work, so that you can do the job, and all that kind of thing, with all the maintenance and so forth. Yeah. In terms of expense and also effort.
So, I mean, like, if you, as a cosplayer, you can change everything about you and give yourself the real anime look. You will look closer to the real anime, but, like, isn't that really, really tough? Because then everyone else has the pressure of looking also more like an anime person. And where is the difference between 2D and 3D? Get so much closer to 2D. Where is
They're
the difference?
becoming very, very close now. There's actually a trend that I'm seeing in the cosplay community right now where a lot of people, they're taking their cosplay photos as they normally would, but they're applying digital art on top of it to draw their backgrounds and their effects and the hair. Like, it's all done in Photoshop. Like, their wig, everything is all done in Photoshop. So they're combining digital art and cosplay together. And it looks amazing. And I feel like I can't, like, keep up with it because, like, I can't do art that well. But it's fantastic. And I feel like the cosplay community is growing more and more towards that.
It's like a new art form that's kind of being developed.
It's developing,
with the IRL merging in with the digital art.
Yes.
You are right, it does look amazing. And I've got those photos which it's not a video, but it's one of those moving photos where it's only the hair that's going or whatever. It's
it's a whole new level from just like pulling things out of the closet and putting on a mediocre wig. We've come a long way to where we are right now.
Do you have advice for people who are interested in getting into modeling, cosplaying in Japan?
Well, I think that for me, the main thing is to have a passion for it. So I think that, especially with cosplay specifically, I think that cosplaying characters that you want to cosplay and things that you're passionate about, people are going to see that when you post it. I think that you can inherently read when someone doesn't care versus when they do care. So I think that, and also when you start out, I think this is very important, cosplay modeling, and pretty much with any kind of content creation, is you kind of have to give yourself some time to suck. You kind of have to suck for a little while because that is part of the process. I think like all of us here have like content that we made years and years ago. We look back and we're like, ooh, a bit cringe.
I look at what I did yesterday and I'm like...
But if you're not cringing at what you did before, then you're not growing.
Good point. I like that. Again,
so even if it's not perfect to the content that you're seeing online, like even if you're not meeting that expectation yet, you need to give yourself that room to grow. I think it's very, very important. And even if you think that it's not great, like just post it anyway. Just go for it. Like just grow from there, and you'll learn with every new cosplay, every new experience.
If you're not cringing, you're not growing. I like that.
Very nice.
That is a really good quote.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, that really is. It's lovely, actually.
Yeah. So cosplay. We focus a lot on cosplay, but you also are a proper, or have worked as a proper model for an agency here in Japan. So how was that? Like, or what are the rules? How do agency treat their models? How is life with an agency in Japan?
Because just quickly, but before you answer, because we've gone through like doing idol stuff and whatnot. We've gone through the very extreme rules that are applied to idols and so forth, and other performers in Japan. So, what is your experience with all that?
Well, the modeling agency that I was specifically for foreigners in Japan. So they were really amazing. Like they were really, really chill. A lot more chill than I would expect a lot of agencies to be, especially if you're a Japanese model working for a Japanese company. I feel like it's going to be a lot more strict. But if you're working with agencies that specifically work with foreigners, sometimes it tends to be a little more relaxed. But of course, there are still rules. So even though I was working with them as a model, like I couldn't go out and like do like a YouTube video or a cosplay something for another company without, you know, going through them first if I ever needed. So it was always pretty much any job that I did had to go through them. And they were very, very relaxed about it. Like, but sometimes that got in the way, and like people would be put off by having to go through an agency.
Yeah,
because
sometimes the agencies have like rules and then certain things, and that stops a lot of jobs. I lost a lot of jobs because of my agency just being very difficult, or saying, "Oh, we're not sure, we don't know this company."
Right.
You lose a lot of opportunities if you are with an agency.
Yeah.
But one thing she was saying was very positive about your agency, which is interesting because I heard a lot of negatives about agencies in Japan. So what were the good things about that agency?
I mean, my agency offered to sponsor my visa to let me live here. So like for that, like I can't thank them enough. Like actually like Luke as well ended up going and working for them for a little while. So they hired him for a while. They found me some jobs that I would only think that I would get in my dreams. You know, like before I came to Japan, like I would see like these fashion brands in Japan that I was so into and I was so invested in. I thought never in a million years like would I ever model for them. But then, yeah, like I joined this agency and they would have contacts with those brands, and I was able to get jobs with like companies that I just never even thought I would be able to. So
can you give us an example? What's one of the big brands you've modeled for?
Well, I know that one of the ones that I was like super obsessed with was Secret Honey. You know?
Yeah, Secret Honey. I've seen your shoots.
I would like before I moved to Japan, I was in love with Secret Honey. Like I was so obsessed with it, and I got a email one day, I think it was like my second year in Japan. I was like, hey, like we're looking for models for Secret Honey. And I was like, oh, I'll apply, but like I don't think I'm gonna go anywhere with it. And I got called for the audition. I went to the audition like absolutely shaking, like sweating, so nervous, like. And even after I left, I felt like I couldn't sleep until I heard the answer, because like even though you know, like. You can't get your hopes up, right? In modeling, or even like I think just in any kind of like talent, you can't get your hopes up because the answer could always be no. Yeah. And it's very realistic that it probably will be no, because there's so many other models. You know, they're beautiful. They're all beautiful. They're all gorgeous. Like they're just. It's so difficult to not get your hopes up at the same time when it's something that you know that you would really like. But yeah, like when I found out that I did get that job, like I was crying. I was so excited about it.
That's lovely.
It was amazing. And then I actually ended up working with them like long term over the next couple of years. So yeah, like to me that was really a dream come true.
You mentioned model audition. What does a model audition in Japan usually look like? What do? Do you just like walk up and down, do like a little look in the camera, like a bit of a Vogue? And then
I mean, they're all pretty different. Usually they take Polaroids. So like they'll take a Polaroid, or like even just like phone. They'll just take like phone of like your left, right, like
also
back.
you don't just send them good pictures. They will actually come and take pictures of you there on the spot.
Yeah. So they want to see you in person.
No editing. That's where they skip the editing part.
No editing. They want to see you in person, and like when you're at the audition, you also always see your competition.
Oh,
so
damn.
like
you know whose face needs smashing.
Yeah, so you know who's there, and it's like sometimes it's like very like, you're surrounded by like all these gorgeous, tall, like beautiful women, and you're just like, why am I here right now?
I remember I did an audition back in my actor days before I came to Japan. I did this audition for some action movie, and I remember, like, the role was you're meant to be jacked and everything, and I'm sitting there outside the audition. I'm the next person in. The guy who comes out was this giant steroid freak, and he walks out of the room, thank you very much, and walks past me out the door, and I'm like, well, not getting this job.
Yeah.
Already know.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember an audition, since we're sharing, I remember an audition where literally it was for a TV show, and they were like looking at candidates, and there was this one, I could hear the other audition before me, and it was just this woman who was non-stop talking about how big her melons were and how hard it is to live with melons this big, and she can't see her feet anymore, and the poor thing, and the staff was laughing the entire time because she was just talking about her melons, and she was clearly Japanese. So when it came to me, they were like, dead palm face. Okay. So like, I think they were already pretty set who they're gonna get, and I was like, I'm sorry I didn't bring enough melons today. But yeah,
So you're auditioning against a Japanese girl for a melon-oriented job?
no, it wasn't. It was just like a TV show where the staff would come and I think save some troubles in your life. Or something.
One of those
And
ones I've
so
done.
I'm not
maybe,
sure
yeah.
how in the end it had ended with her, whether the staff was going to come and help her with her melon troubles. But it was just one of those, when you hear the competition, when you see the competition,
Yeah.
for all of us, it is tough. There's always someone who looks better,
Yeah.
who looks better, who's more buff, or has bigger melons.
Yeah, I feel like I've never been like, I don't feel like I've ever had that confidence. I don't think I've ever walked into the room and thought, I'm the best here.
No.
Really?
I don't think that's ever happened
I
to me
think
in my life.
that's a girl
Okay.
thing, though. I don't know. I think that's a girl thing. I think we get
think
taught all of
so.
our lives there's someone beautiful and better than you all the time.
You're both
so-
very aesthetically pleasing.
I just
in
walk
many
into your
ways.
room and I'm just like, I see all the the beautiful models and I'm just like,
Really? You need to raise your self-esteems.
With your
yeah.
bringing it back to modeling, I know a lot of modeling agencies will like literally go like, you need to lose 5 kilos before we even start taking pictures of you and stuff. Did you
Yeah.
get that?
I did not, but my modeling agency that I was with was pretty accepting of different ages and different body types. So like they were pretty relaxed. I think for maybe some of their top models, they do keep an eye on their weight a little bit more. But for the more casual models like me, then they don't worry about it too much. I'm not in the tall category, so I'm not going to be modeling for high fashion or runway anyway. I'm going to be doing more casual catalog stuff, so it's not as big of an issue. Of course, maybe if I did gain significant weight, that they would have something to say about it. And occasionally I would get comments like, oh, like it looks like you've lost weight, like in a positive way. But I never really felt any pressure from them. And my weight kind of maintained anyway, so I didn't have an issue with it personally. But I feel like for the top models, it's a little more strict.
Anything else? Like you turn up one day and they're like, we don't like that haircut. Change that. Anything like that?
Thankfully, no.
Okay, that's good.
But I've always kind of kept the same. I've always been very scared
Consistent.
to change because of that. Because I know that is an issue. I can't, I don't get my nails done
Oh, okay.
because clients always want your nails bare. So I never get my nails done. I've always been tempted to I'd like to get pink in my hair, or I'd like to colors, or I'd like to do things.
Yeah.
But I can't do that because
Yeah.
that's going to limit me.
If it ain't broke, don't
Oh,
fix
dear.
it, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah. Well, in my case, I'm gonna have to break. This is brand new. My hair is
It
pretty new.
looks
so-
very nice. Let's just
beautiful.
take a moment to admire
yeah,
Cathy
it
Cat's
looks
hair.
great.
Thank
Looks
you.
lovely.
I love
It's
it.
fine to not. It's great to not finally catch my hair in absolutely everything. So it's
Look
gonna
very
be a
nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, it
So
really
yeah,
suits
I've
you.
always wanted to have a little bit of pink, so I braved the pink now.
You look very nice,
Thanks,
young lady.
Gorgeous.
Thank you. I'm getting flattered now. I'm like, ooh, I'm starting to blush here now. I was going to ask you something about modeling. Now it's totally out of my head. Oh, why do you think Japan likes Western-looking models, and what kind of brands like to employ Western-looking models?
I've usually been hired for anything that consists of princess or
Okay.
Disney princess type roles. So like Secret Honey was all the princesses. Like I've been cast in commercials as the princess. Like a lot of the jobs that I've been given is like princess. So like
good.
I've been
That's good.
typecasted in that. That's
Every
totally
little
fine.
girl's
Yeah,
dream.
yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm not against it. I like Disney. So I think it's maybe like that kind of association, at least for me anyway. And then I think for like higher fashion brands, I think they just really like the tall, like very cool looking, like Western women. Like a lot of like Russian models come over here and they just like have such like perfect like cheekbones and like mature faces. So I think it's just something different.
You have very striking eyes, by the way. Look at your
Oh,
eyes.
thank
They're
you.
very blue, which is nice.
Thank you.
You also have blue eyes.
No, I don't.
Bluish green.
No,
I have to
no.
tell you, I've lived in Asia so long that now when I see coloured eyes, I'm like, what the hell happened here? It's
Good
amazing.
point. Yeah. What's your eye color?
Something, I don't know. Can you tell me? Something or other?
Is that blue green?
Blue, green, grey,
Yeah, it's
something.
like
I
a
don't know.
blue,
something like that.
gray.
All right.
I would say that's gray.
I don't know what it is, frankly.
Interesting.
It's a funny thing because I can look at the mirror, see my own colourful eyes. Now I see your colourful eyes. I'm like, look at this. Amazing.
Eyes, colorful eyes.
It's
I mean,
amazing.
so there is a little bit of like a Western princess.
Yeah, that's usually, I think, because like the blonde hair, blue eyes, plus I'm not really that tall. My face is also like a little bit like more round. So it's not like very sharp like a lot of the high fashion models. So I think that's why I've been like put into like the princess thing.
Yeah, I think since you're like petite, you kind of go into the kawaii area as well, right? Like
yeah.
Japanese people love kawaii
I
more than
love
cool.
kawaii.
Well, abroad it's more like cool, edgy
Yeah,
cool.
right.
So I think that works as well.
Do
Yes.
you recommend modelling as a career choice?
In Japan.
Yes and no. I think that it has advantages and disadvantages. I think that I've been given a lot of opportunities that I only could dream of. Like, I'm so grateful for a lot of the opportunities that I have had, companies that I've gotten to work with, people that I've gotten to meet. But there is a downside to it, of course. Like, you don't have control over your own image. So, you know, like once you do a shoot or, you know, you do a commercial or something, it doesn't matter whether you don't like it or you don't like how you're portrayed or you don't like how you look or you don't like that photo. If they want to blow it up and put it on top of like a building in Shibuya, then too bad, because that's just how it goes. You've
That's
got
what's up.
Yes, you're selling your image. You're selling your own face and yourself. So you have to kind of come to terms with that, and it's something that I've personally had difficulties with. And then also, like, there's a lot of like the self-comparison. You're competing with other people, and I think the biggest issue is your value comes down to your appearance, and that's kind of difficult. Like, I think that then of course if you grow older, then your value is diminishing. You gain weight, your value is diminishing. You change your hair, your value is diminishing. So it's like it's very difficult to keep up with, and I think it's mentally taxing at times.
Oh, that's
Good point.
showbiz, ain't it?
That
Showbiz
is
across the board.
Yeah.
The business of show.
It hasn't changed, and it doesn't look like it's going to change.
No,
There's been
it's
a lot
even
of
worse. Everyone's clickety-clacking, tickety-tocketing, making their legs longer. It's even worse than ever was.
really tricky. Yeah, I mean, like especially in the modeling industry, like weight, looks, age. It's a rough industry to be in, and you know that even though you'd love to do this all your life, you might not be able to do it.
Exactly.
So-
It's time. There's like a time limit on it. Like I'm already too old. Like I'm already at the end of my modeling career. I'm not going to be modeling for much longer. I'm 31.
Oh, okay.
And you think you're too old, or did
I'm too
agencies
old.
tell you you're too old?
Agencies tell me I'm too old.
Oh.
Yeah.
But there's not another category you can go into, like the sweet mom category,
You
or
can, yeah, but I don't feel like I quite fit into that category yet either.
Oh, really?
There is a market for older models, but like I'm too young to do older modeling, too old to do younger modeling.
Yeah, I think Japan though, as in itself, has like a very. I'm sorry, but there's a very like age society. It's like
100%.
once you're past 25, you're supposed to do something else in your life.
Yeah.
Da-di-da. So there's like there's a lot of fetish around the schoolgirls. I'm sorry, I said the F word. But then there's also a lot of like then you're a university student, and then you're like, ooh, still kind of attractive. Then you start being the OL, still kind of attractive. But once you move past 30, it's like, oh, it's time for you to marry and get off the market.
it is interesting to me how much it's like, no, these are the definitions and you must follow them. You must
That's
follow
still very
the
strict.
rules.
It's a little bit ageist, I think, in a way, and I think a lot of women struggle, through those images, because if you don't fit the shoe, there's a bit of a social stigma of like, why are you not married? Why are you not at this point in your
after
life?
30
At this
especially,
age,
yeah,
at this
yeah.
age, you're supposed to be at this point in your life. That's a bit tough. I mean, I guess as a foreigner, you get a little bit of a guide and get out of jail card, but I guess the modeling agencies are still just like, no, over 30, no.
Yeah, pretty much.
Damn.
I was told by a model once, she was 21 and she told me, yep, I'm already old by modeling
Yeah,
standards.
yeah.
21, too old.
That's why idols graduate when they're like 20. They're like, we're old now, we have to graduate being an idol. I'm like, you're just 20. You're still green behind your ears. But hey.
And wet behind your ears as
So
well.
we've come to a low point. What's the good part about modeling?
I think meeting a lot of really great people, good opportunities, travel, and like getting to see your face in like a store or something is always really exciting and really rewarding.
All right. What would you pivot into though? What is like your next goal then in life, or what's like the next thing you wanted to keep doing?
That's a loaded question.
It's a
I
loaded
want to
question.
I want to keep doing my cosplay stuff, like because I do have my own kind of cosplay and VTubing and Twitch streaming outside of modeling. I'm just planning on continuing with that. I really like the creative side of content creation. If modeling opportunities still arise, then I'm going to take them. But for the most part, I'm focusing more on content for the internet, and it's doing pretty well.
Did you have a prior educational background or something? For instance, a master's in science fiction or something similar like that?
I went to school for computing software development.
Wow. That is an
God.
academic
you
field.
Oh, no.
That's how you're like researching your cosplay. So you're like,
Oh,
let's
so
look into
bad
the
at
data.
it.
You are saying about you can't do the digital art. Yes, you can. Clearly.
I do enjoy like drawing digitally and stuff like that, but I'm not good enough yet. It's like that thing where you have to give your time to suck. Like I kind of suck at digital art, but like I want to get better, so I just need to keep sucking for a while.
You are a clickety-clack female Elon Musk. How many minutes remain in this extravaganza? Okay.
5 minutes.
Okay, one more question. Can you make a living as a model in Japan, or are you kind of going to be on the bottom of the barrel minimum wage?
I think, to be honest, I think most people are in the minimum wage category. It's not easy, and it's becoming more and more desirable. More and more people are coming over here to do it. So it's becoming really, really competitive. People that I know that just do modeling, usually they're working a minimum wage. So even though they're getting good jobs and they're getting a lot of jobs, you can never guarantee how much a single job is going to pay. Like different clients will pay you a different amount for different amounts of time. If you can find a job that is long-term, sustainable, so they keep hiring you over and over, then that's great. But I think that I wouldn't call it particularly lucrative in terms of money, unless you're like famous.
Yeah, it seems the image
What's your
seems to be
Miranda
that
Kerr?
models
Yeah.
are rich. That's not a thing in Japan. You're kind of being kept a little bit humble.
Yeah.
With the kind of thing, a lot of models also have to still live with their parents. I know that from a lot of doksha type models, which are the ones that are like kind of normal girls, but they still have to live with their parents, or they still have to share, or hopefully they have like a partner who helps them make a living. Especially for many foreigners as well. You're lucky that you had an agency who's sponsoring your visa, but there's lots of agencies who don't do that. So you kind of need other ways of having a visa, have to have a main job, that kind of thing. So even though it sounds very sparkly and is a great opportunity, it's not a real way to make much money in Japan.
Yeah, I mean, you can, but like unless you're famous and you're like 6 foot and you meet the ideal standards for a model, not just in Japan but everywhere, then it's not necessarily very lucrative.
I think like people don't realize that you might do a job and get paid $10,000 or something, but then that might have to live off that for 6 months until the next job comes.
Yes, 100%.
So,
And like also something that I've found is the bigger brands, so the more famous brands that you are going to be like working for. So I don't know, for example, let's say a very like famous like Western brand or something, and you get hired by them, they actually tend to pay the least.
Yes, because they say, well, we're a big old brand,
Yeah.
so it's good for your reputation to work with us, so we don't need to give you money.
So
You
get like
need
a deal
us
with a
more
known
than
brand.
we need you.
Oh man, that's
So-
horrible.
And of course you're going to accept it as a model. Of course you are. Like, why wouldn't you? And so yeah, usually bigger brands, you might see someone like a model modeling for a very famous brand and think, oh wow, like, that must have been amazing, paid so much money to do that. She must have been making like my entire paycheck in one shoot. But in reality, the bigger the brand, usually the less they pay.
Oh damn! Learn another fact here as well.
Yeah.
Brutal.
I
Brutal.
mean, a lot of people who come over, a lot of girls who come over have like a main job and they do modeling as a plus alpha.
Yeah. A lot of people, they do modeling and then something else because, they can't make rent, with their modeling. So
A lot of the men do personal training on the side.
Yeah, you have to have like a second thing on the side as well. Like, so don't quit your day job kind of thing. But hey, okay, that was about modeling in Japan. I think we got some really good facts jotted down. It's not to like break any kind of expectations, just so you know what you're up to when you come. Get yourself all prepped up. Anything else you would like to add though?
I think if you are coming to Japan to model, make sure that you ask around about reputable agencies, because there are, like, I was lucky, the agency that I went to, the only reason I found them is because a friend recommended them first. So ask around, other people that you see doing what you want to do. Like, don't be afraid to like DM them on Instagram or something. Like, ask for advice, ask them what agencies are reputable before you go to them. Also, don't sign a contract if you don't want to. You can be a freelance model and work with multiple agencies and be free if you want to, and just kind of do what's right for you.
All right, Ladybird, where we can find you on the internet?
Friends and other people watching for unknown reasons, please go to the internet and put in Ladybeard _Japan, and that's where you'll find Ladybeard on the internet. Press the followy, subscribey, snicky, snocky buttons. Cathy Cat.
And PeachMilky, where can we find you? Sorry.
You can find me at PeachMilky on Twitter and Twitch, and PeachMilky _ on Instagram. Yeah.
Hey, any cool projects coming up? Any kind of cool cosplay you want to share?
More cosplay. I'm going to be doing a Nahida cosplay for the new Genshin Archon. Pretty soon I'm going to be doing a cosplay stream for that and rolling for her. So yeah.
There we go. And yes, I'm Cathy Cat. Cathy Cat underscore is the score underscore TV for Twitter, for Twitch, for Instagram, and you also can find me just generally on YouTube on the Cathy Cat. And don't forget also Japan Railway Journal, a show on NHK World International TV where I talk about the wonderful things of the Japanese railway system. But it was wonderful to have you here on Cat with Beard.
Podcast, follow the podcast as well. Twitty, YouTube, McSmoochoo.
How can
leave
we
a
find
comment
the
there.
podcast?
Put Cat with Beard at Cat with Beard, Cat with Beard, YouTube, Twitty. Put comments in, please. Thanks.
Yes, we're looking forward to your comments. It was lovely to have you on the show.
Well,
Thank you so much for
sweetheart. Thank you for
having
having
me.
us.
Thank you.
Thank you
And
very
yeah,
much.
good luck with the rolling for the Genshin waifu.
Thanks, I'm going to need it.
You want to help us energetically take it out? We
All
always
right.
go Cat with Beard. That's how we do it, all right?
Okay.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next time on
Cat with
Beard. Goodbye.